Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me here today at Bobo Bun Sew Vintage Life. I'm Lisa and I'm a vintage inspired dressmaker and dressmaking teacher, which you will know if you have visited before. Thank you so much for joining me again, and if you're new, a big hello and thanks for coming along. In today's video, I'm not doing any sewing tutorials as I had said I would be doing this week. I will explain more as I talk, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about behind the scenes of running a sewing business and being a dressmaking teacher and what that involves, because sometimes behind the scenes stuff and a nosy into someone's life, let's face it, we do enjoy it. No grotty or warts and all. Right, so before we kick off, I'll tell you what I'm wearing. I have got a Gable t-shirt on. It's a short-sleeved one this time. Jennifer Lauren handmade. You see me wearing a lot. A couple of videos back made the leopard print and the silver using the body and the neckline of the Gable. This one in a marvellous Frida. I was going to say who we all love, but we might not all love Frida, but I love Frida. With my old pink cardi and lipstick brooch. So that's what I'm wearing today. With my new haircut, I said cut the trunk off the front, and I'm wondering if that was a good idea, but that's the hair I'm wearing on my head today as well. I'm not doing the sewing tutorials. I wanted to explain where my head's at the moment, because sometimes that can be quite reassuring for other people when you say it's not going great and they think good. Because not good in that, you're pleased it's not going great for somebody else, but just good in that I relate to that. You're human, you're real. And I just believe it's good to touch base and, say, oh, everything's not actually coming easy to me. So I've got the, in terms of sewing my jacket, I want to make the shoulder pads. And I could just whip them up, but I want to film it for you. So that means my jacket's not getting finished. It's got the lining to go in, and if I didn't want to film it for you, I could just get it finished, but I'm holding back so I can do that for you. Now I'm in a bit of a sort of tailspin with my sewing because I've got so many lovely bits of fabric. I've got lots of ideas, things I want to be sewing. Counterbalance that with the fact that I'm teaching. I'm trying to think how many I teach at the moment. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday and 2 on Saturday. So I teach 6 classes a week, evenings and daytimes. And then I've got my oldest daughter back home, so sort of taking her back and forth from work, running the home because I don't have any servants or staff. I set up my sewing school, my real life sewing school, face-to-face in September, which I was just like majorly excited about, as I should be, and I still am. I absolutely love teaching and spreading the sewing inspiration and supporting people, and just seeing their joy and pleasure as they learn. Really enjoy that. It's just a very, very worthwhile way of earning money. What comes with that is trying to do all the behind the scenes stuff. I need to let them know about when courses are coming up. I need to take their bookings, send them invoices, process that money. So I'm finding it all very overwhelming. I spoke to somebody about designing my website, which would have been great. They sent back, as they should, all the stuff that they needed, my branding, my logos, my fonts, my designs, and my head just went, oh my God, I haven't got any of this. And I spoke to friends, and then who could have helped me out, but then I won a branding package. It was amazing, branding package from Pretty Content, who's starting to work with small vintage inspired businesses. So we've been working together, sorting out my branding, which will be logos and everything that I can use on websites and social media, packaging all across the board. So hopefully that will be either end of this year or beginning of next year. So once that's launched, I can put on a website. So I thought in the in-between, I really need like a landing page, a brochure page. So I'm trying to do my own website. And yeah, it's not terribly easy, but you need all the photographs for it, writing all the information. And then the really hard bit that's really throwing me, because I want to be able to send out newsletters and emails, letting people want to sign up to my courses know what's coming up, general chatty news style, just all of that. And they need to subscribe to that so I can send it out. That again isn't particularly difficult to do. What's difficult to do is the fact that we have all these data laws in the UK and Europe, data protection laws, and you can get fined loads if you contravene them. And that's an absolute minefield. Knowing how to write one of these legal agreements, ensure that my website is compliant with all these data protection laws. I'm not skilled at everything. It makes sense. Yeah, I know how to teach. I know how to be a dressmaker. I bake a really good cake. Not bad at cooking. Everyone says they really enjoy my food. But technical, legal stuff, I'm just out of my depth. I've asked somebody if they can help me, so fingers crossed they can. But still wading through it. So where that puts me at is when I'm not working, I have the odd bit of time off. Like on Sunday I was teaching all day, so I sort of taught straight through the weekend. So I had Monday day off, but was teaching in the evening. So I thought I'm going to treat myself like it's my weekend now today and just sew. The whole time I'm sewing, I'm thinking I should be writing the website or just trying to sort this data out, or writing new course content, advertising new courses, filming YouTube. This is where my head's at, is thinking of all of these things I should be doing. So I can't enjoy the sewing and I make mistakes with the sewing. And when I'm not doing the sewing and I go and do those things that my brain's telling me I should be doing, my brain just goes in total meltdown. I can't concentrate on it, and all I think is I just want to sew because I find that relaxing. It's just catch-22, and it's been going on for days. I mean, even today when I was putting my makeup on, I was thinking I should be sorting out the passport forms, because I'm sorry I'm going from one thing to the other, but it'll give you an idea of where my head's at when I'm going, whoa, big shaky head there. I decided I really want to try and see the Schiaparelli exhibition, probably pronounced that wrong, and it ends the end of January, and I have got 2 weeks off at the end of January. So I've asked both my daughters if they like to go. All our passports have expired. So to ensure that we can book hotel and trains and whatnot, because obviously they both want to go, I mean they really, really do, I need to sort out fast tracking with the passports. So that's added another thing to the list. We need to go to Peterborough or London to try and fast track our passports, but we need to get all the paperwork done first. And you can see where I'm at. And why? So while I was doing my makeup, I was thinking I should be doing that. I mean, I'm always thinking of what I should be doing rather than just focusing on the thing I'm doing at that moment. That's another reason I wanted to come and talk to you here, because I thought this would be quite cathartic. You might be thinking, oh, who gives? But who knows? I just wanted to share. So what else did I want to say? Yeah, the other thing, launching my Patreon. I have set myself markers. I was going to do it in September. I was going to do it by the end of the year. But in September I launched my business, so I knew that was impossible. It's now getting to the crazy time of the year where there's a lot of extra thrown in. And like I say, I'm trying to do all this stuff for my business. So it's really not the time, is it? And I've got my Patreon planned out. I've got projects, I've got ideas. I am so excited about it. I can't wait to share it with you. But the other thing I do need to learn how to do is to make PDFs that I can make into downloadable forms for you, from things that I make. I don't know how to do that, and I can't figure that one out either. I've bought all sorts of kit and things, and oh, I just need to be an expert in so many fields. So one sensible decision I made was that I am just going to teach Thursday, Friday and 2 on a Saturday classes in February and March. And as long as enough people sign up for those, that will financially keep me ticking over. It will buy me more time, I'm hoping, so that I can focus on all the other things and get the Patreon launched, which I really want to do. And see, I'm trying to take on a lot. Sometimes I think, am I trying to run too soon? But you know, you don't achieve anything unless you jump in. But I just need to be skilled in so many areas. And it's like getting this camera, you know, it's still not necessarily the quality I wanted. I've put it into this part of the room because I think it looks sharper and better here, but maybe I need to buy some, you know, those fancy, you know, those kind of black backed kind of fancy cameras. But who knows, it just starts getting so much stuff. Yeah, so if anyone knows how to make downloadable PDFs, understands EU laws about data protection, which is called GDPR, designing websites, taking good photos, how to actually relax and switch your head off would be the most important skill you could teach me. Answers gratefully received. Anyway, I'm going to end that kind of chat and just tell you 2 little sewing things, because that's kind of why you're here really, isn't it? The black skirt that I was telling you about that I was cocking up in last week's video, I think we're getting there. Waistbands on, zips in, so that's nearly done. I showed you, whoops, I think a pin's just flopped out on my lap. I showed you this waistcoat last week. There was a comment that I hadn't showed it for long enough, so I'm holding it up really long and clear for you here. I did think I held it up long enough, but here you go. You can't miss that pattern, can you? And I've done that one up there. So I made a toile, and it's called a waistcoat, not a waistcoat, in the pattern, which I think is rather interesting. So as you can see here, I've made my waistcoat, and it's all lined. And where's the buttons? I put the button here somewhere. Here's the button. Got 5 of these buttons to sew, and I think they're rather a nice match with it. So got my waistcoat made, really happy with it. Marked out to sew the buttons on my Juki. I mean, I've got a really high-end sewing machine, you know, they sell at £1,000. Mine wasn't that much money. It's bought a few years ago, and it's a really good deal because it's a friend that sold it to my love. But yes, they're top-end machines, but they're really bottom-end when it comes to sewing buttonholes. So it's screwed up the buttonholes on my waistcoat, so I'm having to sew them all by hand. So now I'm thinking I wish I'd just done the bound buttonholes in the first place. So that's where we're at with that. Just feels like everything I'm trying to sew at the moment, something kind of goes a bit wrong with it. And then I just think, I did think the other day, why do I sew? Which is a really silly question because I know I love it, but you know, sometimes things go wrong and it's too much. The other thing I started on, I think I had a really mad busy day on Friday, desperate to sew when I got back because I was teaching, I had a business meeting, haircut, then another meeting. So yeah, it was a lot going on Friday. I wanted to do a bit of sewing, and I did actually have productive sewing. And I cut this out. This is from a vintage pattern, this square-necked bodice. This is like a stretchy sort of linen mix cotton. And I don't know why, but this reminds me very much of France. I don't know, I'm thinking wallpaper. I've seen a place I've stayed in France, but I don't know. So I do think of this as my French dress. I'm doing long sleeves with a cuff in this. So I'm making this into a dress. I haven't decided on the skirt yet, but I really want to make a belt that goes around it, and hopefully you can visualise this from my description. A belt that goes round, that overlaps at the front, that you have a button there and a button there. And sometimes you can have those when you've got a shirt dress, you would have one of the buttons attaching to the shirt and the belt, and then you'd button over the top. That's the kind of thing that I'm picturing doing this. So that's sewing related news, and all my head can think is all the lovely fabric I've got in my drawers and cupboards that I want to be sewing. And yeah, I've got to get these things finished and sort my head out so that I can actually find productive relaxing sewing time and proper work time. Who knows how I'm going to solve that one, but yeah. Thanks for listening. Sorry if it was a bit, but sometimes it's just good rather than me coming on and going, here you go, it's all lovely, and I'm going to inspire you and share the really good news. I'm not being like a Debbie Downer, am I? But I'm just trying to say where I'm at right now. So thank you, and until next time, please subscribe, please like, give me your feedback, your comments, always gratefully received. And yeah, we're getting very near the 1,000 mark, which is just incredible. Who would have known it? I was going to say thank it. Who would have known? But thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me here. I love sharing everything with you. So heartfelt thanks for that. So until next time, goodbye.